Okay, dokie, smoky. Let me make sure it's recording, y'all. It is. Oh, hey, y'all. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? It's me, your favorite person. And today, let me get out of the light. Okay. And today, I am going to, if I can fucking find it, I'm going to twist my hair like double strand twist. So anybody who does, sorry about the glare, y'all. There's the sunlight, but you get to see my pretty face. It doesn't affect the message, but I'm gonna be double strand twisting my hair, and that is a hairstyle that people with curly hair, very curly hair, thick curly hair that is hard to manage because people get offended when you say black people. But it's a style that keeps moisture in. So I'm gonna attempt to do it on camera. I've never done this before. Y'all are gonna watch me do it, and I'm gonna vent and rant about some things. It's been a really stressful past few months for everyone. You know, everyone is dealing with COVID shit. I'm gonna part my hair first. Everyone is dealing with COVID shit. And wait, I don't really have to do much to part my hair because she already in those 4 sections. What? Okay, so everyone's dealing with COVID, right? And everyone is losing their jobs. Everyone is struggling. But I want everyone, who has if you have a home, if you have a job, that's yours. If you have a car, if you have groceries in your fridge, if you know that you're gonna be able to eat, if you have a paycheck that you are guaranteed to receive, if you have familial support, whether that be a husband, whether that be a boyfriend or a girlfriend, whether that be family, whether that be chosen family, if you have familial support, then you're very privileged during these times. Because a lot of people don't have any of those things. A lot of people are unable to get a job. A lot of people were unable to get jobs pre-COVID, including myself. A lot of people were homeless before COVID happened. A lot of people were at risk of being homeless before COVID happened, And I think that ever since COVID done come around, a lot of you bitches got the world fucked up. And you think that since you're suffering for the first time in your whole life, that it is equal to the suffering you have heard people talk about and discuss around you beforehand. This is one of the things I want to vent about because, during this pandemic, I've dealt with a lot of shit. Nothing that I can't handle. But one of the things that I've dealt with that I can't deal with anymore, as I see myself coming into the new year and, me being 30 next year, I don't want to deal with people who have more access and ability to things and to things that make me happy and to things that make them happy. Oh, fuck, I forgot my fucking... Hold up, y'all. Hold up. There it is. Okay. So people who have access to shit, I'm wearing underwear, you guys. I'm sorry if people are offended by me being topless and almost naked, but that's just how I like to be. But I'm tired of people who have access to all these things, expecting people like me to be there for them in these large ways and to just be able to handle everything that they throw at me or say to me. And it's I don't think anybody's perfect. And I don't think that anybody's problems really diminish other people's problems in hindsight within themselves. And what I mean by that is nobody's problems are worse than yours when you are looking at yourself and it's time for you to be real with you, But in retrospect and in reality, there are lots of people who have it harder than you And their pain is not more valid, but their pain is more extreme. So it requires more attention. And I've just experienced a lot of people. Did I fucking open the top? I'm gonna oil my scalp first. Fucking God. Don't you hate those little things that are in there, y'all? When you gotta fucking like get them out. Like the best trick is to like use like the top of a wide tooth comb and like stab it through the hole. Hack, life hack, TikTok hack. But no, like during this whole motherfucking this whole pandemic, I've had people who have had homes, who have their bills paid for, who got stimulus checks, who got all these things come at me crazy from all types of ways and demand and expect things of me, one, in different varying forms of energy. So like passive aggression, manipulation, or just outright asking me for shit, or dumping stuff on me, or people who have access to all these things just be saying whatever the fuck they want to me. And I'm just like, y'all, like, I just be wondering like how many people out there are like me, like, you know, are black or are dark. I be wondering how people who are darker than me be dealing. And like I think about this a lot because, you know, I'm someone who actually likes to check my privilege and have discussions with myself that I need to have. And I think a lot about how darker skinned people. Hi, Loki. There's a kitty here, you guys. His name's Loki. He's a sweetheart. I thought a lot of people who had access to that stuff would just come and start saying whatever the fuck they wanted to me during this pandemic. And like not thinking about shit. And it's like, y'all, I'm talking about people venting to me about their boyfriends. People venting to me. Also, y'all, I twist my hair a little ghetto. So if you have a problem with the way I twist it, or you think there's a right way, you should do that yourself. Cause I'm gonna do it my way. But people who like would come and complain to me about shit that was very trivial, and I don't have space for it. And it's like in 2020, y'all, if you're white, non-black, lighter skinned, mixed race, and you have privilege, I want you to think about the things you say and who you say them to, and think about what that's gonna do to them, you know, and how they're gonna have to process these things. Because so many people came to me with shit that I really didn't have space to process during COVID. Like people were crying, were just all types of shit, y'all. Like just all types of shit. This is detangler I'm putting in my hair, you guys know. Just all types of shit, y'all. All types of shit. And it was a lot. Like, it was a lot. And I just get so infuriated because as a black trans person, it really bothers me when I have people who are like, oh, I love you, I care about you, but then all they do is dump on me and project on me and expect shit of me. And I think one of the reasons why I may seem a little scatterbrained right now, y'all, is I'm really trying to not like name drop people or call people out, but it's like I vocalize these things to people. I let people know like, what the fuck is going on with me? And I'm like, hey, you guys, right now, I'm struggling with homelessness. Right now, I have very little money to my name. And all the money I do have now is from community. And it just be bugging me that people know that I can have that. And then I go on Instagram and shit like that, or I go on Twitter, and I see like my close friends, people who are like my quote unquote best friends. And I see them like posting up subliminal posts with things that say stuff like, just because someone's life is worse than yours doesn't mean your feelings aren't valid. True, but that is so fucked up. If you're speaking about that in reference to someone who is socially, politically, and just put back because of their identity and who they choose to present as, especially if you're a white person. And it's just like, I just like want everyone, and I was posting about this on my Instagram today, y'all. I just want everyone to like take accountability like for your shit. if you're having a fucking bad day, if you don't like the way shit is going, you know, like, take that up with yourself. You know what I mean? Like, take that up with yourself and really be like, what can I do to make it so that I can have, like, so that I feel good about today? So that I feel good about what I'm doing. Because you know what happens when you don't do that? You start projecting, y'all. You start projecting. And when you project, when you go to tell people that your feelings are hurt, instead of you talking about your feelings, you start talking about shit that is your problem. Like, bitch, I'm mad. Like, I'm honestly, y'all, my feelings are hurt because it's like, you know, I have been dealing with a lot of close friends who just really aren't getting it, you know? And it sucks because they're not trans. And I'm at this point in my life where I'm seeing how crucial it is for the people to be around me to, one, be trans, and two, to understand that their needs, if they are not black and trans, do not supersede mine in my life. Because I don't have the space for it, you know? I just don't have the space for it. I don't even know if I'm going to finish twisting my fucking hair, y'all. Because I just never done something like this long on the fucking phone before. But we gonna see. So, continuing along with my rant, that was like one thing. And another thing I just want to talk about is like, if y'all have trans friends, you really need to stop assuming that the experience that you've witnessed about trans people is something that they can relate to or that you can relate to them. Meaning, if you have a trans friend and your trans friend is like, oh, it's really hard for me to get work, I don't have a lot of money right now, or it's hard for me to date, or it's hard for me to find someone who's compatible with me, or it's hard for me to go outside and have fun. Your first response should not be to tell them what you've seen and what you know and what you understand about their experience. You know? Ooh, this is a cute one, y'all. This is a cute one. That should not be the first thing you do, you guys. Like, no, what the fuck? Hold on, let me grab this towel. Oh. That should not be the first thing you do, you guys, because look, if you think that you're in a place to explain to a trans person how to obtain and deal with their life and obtain happiness and you are not trans, you're wrong. Stop telling trans people to like go get jobs or to just, you know, be positive because bitch, the whole world is against us. Like, and that's what we're trying to tell y'all. Like, everybody be against us. You guys, I had a job, right? I have a great resume. I have a fire professional background. Like, if I wanted to corporate you hoes, I could. If I wanted to, but I don't. Where's it come? I don't want to because I'm not with that shit. But I had a job and it was working for this Chinese man who was opening up a salon. He was actually really sweet. I think he was just like dealing with a lot of mental illness and just like struggling with shit. But like he fired me for not hiding his weed. You know, and I always wonder if anybody who, and like the thing is like there were like 2 other cis girls working there, y'all. And they were just, you know, normal bitches, like just normal bitches. And he never talked to them about his weed or hiding his weed or anything like that. He only yelled at me about it and talked to me about it. And it's like, I got fired that day. Like, I got fired immediately without a warning for literally not hiding my boss's weed. I'm not lying to you guys. And that's just an example of things that I've had to deal with, and that's like a small, soft example of things that trans people deal with. Because there are trans people who deal with sexual assault at their jobs at their place of work. We just deal with a lot of shit. And if you think you know the shit we deal with, you don't. And you're privileged and you gotta take a seat. You gotta take a seat and you gotta listen. You gotta read the room. And you gotta understand that, like, not everyone's life is like yours. And that if you're uncomfortable with divulging in people's sadness, then don't divulge in people's sadness. Like, don't invest in it. Don't have friends that are gonna be sad if you're not gonna be able to handle hearing about it to the point where you just project. Ugh. Y'all, I got 2 done and I'm already tired. What the fuck? Hold up, y'all. Girl, this twisting shit. Girl, I got this Miss Jessie's twisting cream, y'all, and she's cute, but, like, I need more of that shea butter hold, you know what I mean? Like a grip. So, next. I want to just talk about projection. Like, I really want to delve more into that. Stop projecting on your trans friends. Stop calling them pretty all the time as a way to make them feel better. Like, unless they ask for that, don't do that. Like, stop assuming that all trans people only feel good if they look pretty. Because for a lot of us, it's very traumatizing having to, like, think about our body. Like, and it's awkward to have people looking at it. And it's like, I say this because I be dealing with people being like, oh my God, Elle, you would just never understand. You're so pretty. Like, you would never understand. You're so pretty. And it's like, understand what? Shallow, societal, just shallow shit? Like, bitch, like, tell me that I'm capable and that I'm blessed and that you see me as a person and you would like to get to know me. But it's like, I don't know if other trans people get annoyed by this, but it's like, I genuinely do. When it's like, all I hear people talk about to trans people is about how we look. And it's like, telling me I'm skinny and beautiful is not gonna make me feel better. And it isn't doing your part as an ally if that's what you're trying to do. And it's like, also remember that trans people have to learn really, like, at a really, really early ages to, like, love their body and, like, to appreciate themselves. And when you sit there and all you do is tell trans people that they're pretty, but you never ask them how they're doing. You never ask them if they need any help with something. You never ask them or compliment them on them, like, you know, completing, like y'all don't try to get to know us. You think that it's just about us feeling pretty because you see stuff on the news and you see other trans people being hyper obsessed about their body, which is fine for them, but not for me and not for other trans people and not for all trans people. We're all different. So your approach to us should be different. And I just hate that, like, you know, white America has a lot of y'all being unable to look past, like, how you're feeding people happiness and, like, what that means for you. Like, it's so crazy because it's like, I'd be getting so overwhelmed with people literally just, like, everyone reacts to everything the same way. No one tries to divulge their own critical opinion. No one tries to really think about, like, things and how people like to be treated and how certain things are. And it just annoys me that, like, when I tell people, oh, it makes me uncomfortable when you call me pretty, they're like, oh my God, why? Like, I have a trans friend and, like, she just, like, always likes to be told she's pretty. Like, that's her. We're not fucking toys, you guys. We're not objects. Like, we're whole individuals. And yeah, stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop fucking doing that. It's really annoying. And it's also diminishing to, like, if any of y'all out there are feminists, like, if you're gonna talk about, like, sexism, like, it's diminishing to feminism, which is the equality of both sexes or all sexes. And it's diminishing to that because it's like, when you boil down making someone feel good just by complimenting their body, like, I don't care if it makes people feel good. Build your repertoire. Why are bodies the only thing that y'all can compliment? your body is just a damn body, y'all. It's like learn other things to like boost people up, other shit. Another thing I want to talk about is like, okay, so y'all, I'm mentally ill. I'm not gonna go into detail about everything, but I do have PTSD, and I suffer from it like every day of my damn life. So, and what that means for me is like things trigger me. So, and it's also stored in my body. So things will trigger me, and when those things trigger me, it can result in me having excruciating body pain. So like certain sexual things can trigger me into having like a lot of body pain. They trigger me to go into mania and have like depressive episodes. Certain ways people touch me, certain noises, all that type of shit. It will fuck me up. Like yesterday, I was supposed to record this video yesterday, and I could barely walk because the whole left side of my body was in excruciating pain. It hurt to bend my knee. Like, bitch, it was terrible. But with PTSD, I have to actively really check and look after the things that are causing me stress. I have to do active work in catering to myself and making sure that I'm healthy and making sure that I'm okay. I just have to do a lot of work, y'all. And I want to this is specifically towards like the queer community, the trans community, because you know we're doing vents, trans vents. So that means I can be venting about all types of shit. And one of the things I want to vent about is people in the community, and I know, and this is not a broad blanketing thing, I'm going to give specific instances. But like people in the community, coming into the community, not checking their mental health, and then running amok with that bitch, and like fucking hurting people's feelings, fucking ruining people's lives, like all types of shit, and then not being accountable for it. And like, I want to say this because in the community, like in the queer and trans community, a lot of people are very sensitive for righteous fucking reasons. Like bitches come from fucking abuse. Bitches come from all types of shit. Abuse. Bitches come from neglect. People come from all types of stuff. And it's just, it really sucks when it's like, you know, you try to build relationships with people in your community. You try to get to know people in your community. And, you know, you're really actively, like, for example, like, I'm really actively working on, like, checking what I say to other trans people and to people in the community, and really working on formulating a new method of communication. Because there is really no such thing as just talking. You know, like, you're taught to speak a certain way growing up. You're taught to do things a certain way. And you just sit with that. And like, that's okay up to a certain point, because then you start meeting people who have experiences that are completely different than yours. Let me separate this. That are completely different from yours, you know? So like, let's say that the way you learned how to talk doesn't even register to another to a certain person. Like the way that you learn to communicate isn't something that they're used to. So the things that you say could come off hurtful or dismissive, or they could bring someone an immense amount of joy. And when you're coming into a community of people who a lot of the time have not been spoken to properly on purpose by the world, and then you also have factors of like their race. Like with trans people, you have like factors of their race, where they come from, what area of the world they grew up in. All of these things factor into how they process things. And it's just like, you know, you have this community today that's on the internet, that's on Instagram, that's very much like, oh my God, people need to care. People are so mean. One time this thing happened to me and like nobody gave a fuck, and like that's why I'm an advocate and I really care about people. But then it's like they turn around and they unbeknowingly, quote unquote, in some cases, do the exact same thing. Are not checking what they say to people, are speaking to people in any fucking manner, are saying whatever they want, are projecting their trauma on other people in the community who are working on their trauma and not realizing it, and trying to just like, you know, just function through shit normally. And like, it's just like, y'all need to stop doing that. Y'all really need, before you try, and it's like, you know, you do deserve community before you're healed. And I want to specify that, because I want to make sure that people understand that, like, I'm not saying this to mean that if you're unhealthy, you don't deserve community. I'm actually saying the opposite. If you're unhealthy, you deserve community, but you have to understand that when you make the choice to have community and to exist in community, it requires certain things. It requires you to learn how to speak to multiple different people, to different individuals, to really learn and to grow with them. And it's like, if you don't do that, you're not really trying to engage in community. You're just trying to, like, just have comforts and have dependency. And it's like, those things damage community. There are things that those are things that people want, yes, but it's like, learn to check the things that are hurting you, and that hurt is causing you to act crazy or act wild to the people around you. Because after a certain amount of times, it's nobody's fault to cater or hold pity or space for you. And it's nobody's space, especially for a non-Black person treating a Black person this way. It just sucks, you guys, because it's like, I think, like, also, I don't know, maybe I'll call this like an end of the year dump, things that I just want to get off my chest, or things that I really don't want to engage with anymore. But it's like, it sucks, y'all, because, as someone who sees myself as an advocate and who I always want to learn, from all types of people. I always want to learn. I always want to try something new. I always want to understand better, because that is how we are going to take care of our communities. Having better knowledge and understanding of how to maneuver and communicate and form and build new things is how trans people are going to have more community. The cis community is not going to give trans people what they need to survive. It's been years and years and years and years and years. So we need to get it from our own community, but our own community is too worried about their pain. And it's like, your pain is valid, but your pain is your responsibility to work on. It's not the community's responsibility. You don't come into a community that's made up of people who are extremely marginalized and put any ounce of projection into it, because then you're ruining it. And it's just like, I feel like people have all this Instagram speak where, like, they hear all these things and everything sounds so nice, and they're just regurgitating what they hear online, or what they've heard or learned in these groups, or they think because they've experienced some degree of pain in relation to these topics that their viewpoint is valid. And it's like, wrong. There is still truths. There is truths to behind what gaslighting is. There is a truth to behind what keeping boundaries is. It looks different for everyone, but at the essence, there's a definition of truth for it. There is a truth behind what abuse is. And it's like, you have, like, this internet community, and you have, like, this community of people who don't like to be accountable, labeling abuse and all these things that can benefit their growth in turn. And that is wrong. And I mean in a selfish way. You know what I mean? And if you don't know what I mean, like, ask me. But don't take what I say and fucking run with it and try to make me look crazy, because I'm talking about community and people feel sensitive. And it's like, I want to talk about, like, telling the truth in our communities, like in the trans community, in any community, just telling the truth. And, like, why, like I just don't understand why nobody wants to be honest. Like, why, what's wrong with, like, saying the truth? Like, the facts, like, the reality. And I don't mean some mean-ass, closed-minded shit. But, for example, I have a friend. I'm not going to say anything that can be specific, because I'm not dragging anyone. I'm literally just venting about me and my valid feelings. People should try it. I have a friend who, she is also trans, and she was wearing a brand that has attacked and demoralized the trans community many, many times, is known for being transphobic, is just not a good look. It's just not a good look, and they're not a good company. And they, like, buying from this company does not, just literally aids in the torment of our community. So my friend posted a video with this company's stuff on, and I commented and I was like, yes, bitch, you look cute as fuck, but not that brand. And she was like, oh, no, like, this is my moment, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, girl, like, your joy does not supersede a moment that causes more pain in our community. And I see this a lot. And it's like, you can have your own opinion, but as someone who cares about the entire community, and I want the community to be safe, I want Black trans women to stop being murdered. And to do that, we have to stop engaging with companies and things and anything that perpetuates the idea that we are less than and easily bought and easily disposable because we are viewed as objects. So I basically tell my friend that, and she got mad at me and was hurt and was like, I was just having my moment. Like, you should have let me have it. And it's like, you can have your moment. Like, that's my thing. It's like, whenever I try to call out a trans person for engaging in something that has, like, exhibited transphobia, violent transphobia, they're like, oh, you're chomping on my joy. It's like, no, I'm asking you to use logic. Especially if you're a trans person who has access, who has money, and who can buy and buy in certain things. What's like, why do we have to go to these brands that exhibit transphobia when there are other companies that make the same products that are not transphobic, and some of them are even pro-trans, and some of them are even helping people? But instead, it's about your feelings when we're dying out here in these streets. And that's just crazy to me that, like, so many people are like, I'm about community. Community means sometimes giving up your little selfish happiness moments so that the whole community can have a moment. And I feel like it's hard for me, y'all, because I feel like so many people are like, I love my community, but the community that they're talking about they love is their idea of how cool they could look in comparison to that community, of how much clout they can have within that community, of how pretty they can look within that community. And it's like, within the trans community, your personal joy is important, but it should never trump our community's safety, whether that be mental, emotional, or physical. That company, some other trans person has walked into that company and there are cases of it, and they've been turned away. And that person now thinks about that. It has trauma from it. And then someone who happened to be able to go into the company without being harassed because they live in a certain location thinks that it's just great to rejoice now. I'm always going to say the truth, y'all. I'm always going to say the truth, And I think that the truth is more important than saying shit to make people feel good. Because if people learned to accept the truth and understood where it came from, the truth wouldn't hurt their feelings. But bitches don't want to do that. Bitches want things to be sugar-coated. And it's like, like in life, you guys, as trans people, I just want y'all to know that there is no sugarcoating. If you're young and you're trans and you have a family that protects you and you have people who are looking out for you, God fucking bless you. God bless you, and embrace that and acknowledge it and, really cherish that, because a lot of young trans people, I'm talking about, this is for all the people who are younger than me who are coming up. And that means, like, if it's your first year transitioning or if you're 14 years old and transitioning, because as trans people, when we come out, we have to, we start our age clock over a little bit. But, like, nothing is, if you have all those support systems, cool. But I want I just want all trans people to understand that it's like, in all situations, things are not going to be cute, and they're not going to be beautiful, and they're not going to be easy. Because we don't live in a world that wants things to be easy for us. Things are changing. There's a lot of beautiful shit happening in our community. But it's like, shit will never be sugar-coated for us. Like, it's going to be hard. Transitioning physically is hard. Transitioning spiritually and emotionally is hard. Transitioning period is hard. And I just feel like, like, one of the best tools that we can have as trans people with ourselves is to be honest. Some of the older femme queens who, like, I go to for advice, who I go to talk to, who I go to when I'm sad, some of the advice they give me be the most cold. It be it be hard to hear. It be difficult to hear. And it be harsh. It be a little harsh. But, you know, it's the truth. You know, I went to she's an older trans sister I got. She's been transitioning for a long time. She's been in the game for a minute. Like everything. Like femme queen all the way. She's a real bitch. I really, really love her. And one time I went to her and I was crying to her on Instagram. I was like, you know, it's really hard for me to find work. Like, what do I do? And like, I was looking for pity. And she was like, girl, I've had to work jobs where people are transphobic. I've had to work jobs where they're not transphobic. And it's just like, you know, it's the cream of the, it's the way the cookie crumbles, y'all. And it really pains me that it's like, I see other trans people who are engaging with shit that damages our community. And they're like, oh, this is for me. And it's like, it very may well be for you. It very may well be for you, but that doesn't change the fact that it's still damaging our community. That when you give money to companies that don't care about trans people, you're contributing to that hate against trans people. You know? And I think people just need to understand that, you know? Another thing I want to talk about for trans people is like, I don't even want to talk, this isn't even just for trans people. This is for my niggas, my black people, you know. For those of y'all who have black friends, I want you to understand that if you're going to act like an ally, you need to hold that. Like, you need to perform that or be that all the time. Like, all the time. You need to always... Hold on, y'all. This twist is so difficult. Ugh. I'm gonna make it smaller. Okay, so if you're gonna be an ally, you need to be an ally even when black people aren't looking. So what this means, if you hear someone say nigga and they're not black and you're an ally and you're like, oh, that's wrong, I didn't like that. Don't be out here honky-doring and hanging out with them if they weren't accountable and they didn't apologize. Because that literally is like a whole slap in the face to your black friends. And I just want to say this because I have a lot of people who come to me and be like, oh, this person said this person said that, this person said this, da-da-da-da-da. Like, they're so fucked up, like social justice mantra, da-da-da-da-da. But then, hold on, y'all. Oh, shit. Wait, hold on. Y'all, this shit is complicated. For anybody who has never twisted your hair before, it's a lot. It's a fucking lot. Especially when you got a 4C head full of hair like me, bitch. Girl. This is probably the fastest I've ever fucking twisted my hair. But no, like when you have friends who are black and you're like, oh, this person said that, I don't like them, and then you're over here helping and hanging out with them. Like, what? Like, weren't you just mad at them because they said nigga and you just came in my face and told me about it, but now you're out here fucking helping them do their math homework and they were never accountable? Y'all, that shit just be wildin'. It's crazy to me that people are like this. Hold on, y'all. I'm just getting some product in my hair to keep it over here so that it don't get crazy. But nah, like it just bothers me, y'all. Like, stop with the performative activism. Oh, my arms. Stop with the performative activism, y'all. Like, if you're pro-black and you think that it's wrong for people to do certain things, don't be hanging around people that are doing those things. Or because when black people see you do it, it's false. Like, everything you be telling us is false. Like, I be having people who are like, oh yeah, this person say the N-word, this person did this racist thing, da-da-da-da-da. Like, they're so fucked up. Like, oh my God. And then they're hanging out with them. And I just be like baffled by it because it's like people don't realize that it's like this is a reflection of you wanting to be liked so badly by black people, so you're not expected to do any of the work. And that's wrong. Y'all, how my twist out coming out? She coming out good? Is she coming out good? Is she coming out strong? Is she down to get the friction on? Because, girl, let me tell you, I'm down to get the friction on. I need to get laid. No, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. I'm trying to think if there's any other shit that I want to vent about. Because I be having a lot of stuff that I want to talk to y'all about. I don't really plan it. I just, like, it comes through my head. And then it leaves in my head. And then I'm fucking sitting here in front of y'all like... Blah, 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 blah. But... yeah, no, I want to talk about families. I don't know if I had brought that up earlier, but I want to talk about families because the holidays just came around, and I know that a lot of us are dealing with boundaries with parents, especially if you're trans and your parents are in your life still. You're dealing with a lot of things concerning boundaries, like boundaries concerning things concerning boundaries, y'all. Like, y'all are dealing, like, we're dealing with a lot of shit. So I am not that close to my parents for multiple reasons. We can talk about that in another video one day if y'all want. I'm not gonna go into that now because it triggers me kind of. It's very, very emotional. And I just don't want to get into it, you know? I just don't want to right now. I just don't, so. But I'm not really that close to my parents. And one of the reasons why I don't like holidays is because of that. And it's because I feel like on holidays, people use them as an excuse to feel okay and feel fine and to tell people they love them and to feel good about themselves. And it's like, you can ask any of my friends. I am a good friend all year round. I'm a crazy friend. I am very passionate. I'm very strong-willed. And I will hold you to your biggest standard. But one of the things I never will miss is being like, I love you, bitch. Letting you know I love you. I do that all year round, you know? And, this holiday season, one of my parents sent me money and was like, oh, call me like when you get a chance. And like, I love this parent to death, you know? I grew up with this parent raised me. We had I had a very rough and traumatic upbringing with them, but I still love them because I'm a Cancer. And this parent sends me money and it's like, oh, give me a call. And like, I called this parent, but for a few minutes, and then I had to go because I literally just felt so triggered. And then after I hung up, I got sad, I got depressed, I got all these things. Y'all, trans people, if you haven't healed from your parents and it's hard for you to heal, and you know they're not really getting your pronouns correct yet, and you know that you don't feel like they're trying, still keep space. Keep space, you know? Like, you don't have to be mean. You don't have to tell nobody no. But you can keep space, and you can just be like, you know, I really need my space because the way you act makes me sad right now, and leave it at that. But I wanted to talk about that because I was struggling so much with parent shit around the holidays. I was thinking about my mom. I was thinking about my dad. And I was just thinking about, like, how sad I was and how much I wanted to be comforted. And I had this huge moment, and I don't know if this could help other people who are dealing with parental stuff during the holidays, but I had this whole moment where I was like, you know what, I'm listening to this song, it reminds me of my mom, but how about I just think about, like, why I love that song so much and, like, what she represented in that song to me. I'm gonna instill that and live that in my life. And it's like, you know, I'm not saying get over from your parental pain. If you can't, I understand. If you can, there's cool ways to do it. But I just like want trans people this holiday season, especially if you're Black and trans and you're dealing with parental stuff, if they are in your life at all, you know, to take it with a grain of salt and remember that your healing is the most important, you know? And I think I'm gonna stop the rant, you guys. I think I got everything off my chest. I'm trying to gauge like activities for me to do for videos, and I always end up looking crazy because I never finish what I'm gonna do. But I'm just, I'm figuring out my content again, you guys. I'm figuring out like what I want to do, how I want to do things. I hope that this helps somebody. I hope people took away from this. I hope you learned something from this. If you didn't, if you did, cool. Follow me on Instagram at eloquently, ELLEOQUENTQUENTLY, eloquently, like my YouTube handle. Twitter is Oracle Elle. I have a GoFundMe going on right now to help me with my survival, like buying the shit I need for my body and my hair, and then also saving up for an apartment, which I'm trying to move to in February. So if you want to help those things out, check my Instagram out, check out my Twitter. Comment about video ideas that you want me to have below. Let me know. I love you guys. I think this is great. I don't have a lot of people who watch me regularly, and I'm not trying to think about that, but I just love the people who do. I'm so grateful to y'all, and I love you. I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you're taking care of yourself. And I hope that getting through whatever you're getting through is a little easy for you today. I love you guys. Have a great day.